Alright, today's video I'm going to be starting a biomech leg piece from the top of his knee down to his ankle. I've spent the past couple days working on the design. I don't have it finished yet. Hopefully he likes what I put together so far. What I started on first was taking 4 different images of a leg. So the back of the calf, both sides, and then the front from the knee down to the top of the foot. Then using my soft airbrush to draw over top of each of those and come up with a cohesive design that flows throughout. We're gonna do the front of the shin from the knee down today. That's the part that I have finished, so that's what we're gonna work on today. Yeah, I'm pretty excited. I don't get to do too many of these biomech pieces, so this will be a fun day for me. I love designing these, so if you are interested in getting something like this and you like the work that I do, please hit me up. But yeah, I'm gonna keep working on this design, get set up for him, and then we will get going from there. All right, so my client was wanting to do this tattoo in black and gray. So I designed it like this. But then he was also open to seeing it in color. So I created a couple different versions. We got a blue one. We got a bit of a orangish red one. I've got this front angle from the knee down all finished up. This is plenty for us to do today. I'm gonna keep working on this side angle. A lot of this right through here is what I've already finished. You can see it, but then we've got more of the back of the calf. So gonna keep finishing this up. Now I'm going through and I'm using a studio pen, just going over some of those hard outlines with black. Then what I can do once I have those darker areas outlined, so I can just go ahead and drop the black in there. Starting to get a good idea for it, and then what I do is go to sketching, use my technical pencil. I'll start shading this in. Piece place first, get that lined up. Directions on its way down. It's not just like a straight shot to a lot of people. True. You know, are pretty relaxed. You know, your head and upper body can do whatever. With the knee especially, it's a pretty common area of the body that's like a lot drier than the rest. So making sure you got a little bit of extra stencil stuff goes a long way. Try and connect this lower portion. See if we can get that lined up. So even though I drew this symmetrical, what I'm going to do now that I have this lined up pretty well is go in here with marker and draw some of this up so that it bends a little bit with the shin bone so that it looks straight. The rest of it though is in line. Looks really good, so we can work with that and just build off from there.
Got it stove after stove, so gonna smoke. They tell me to quit, don't listen what I'm told. They help me forget that this world is so cold. I don't even know what I'm chasing no more.
Alright, I've got everything drawn on, stenciled out here, flowing up through the knee. Went ahead and started out with a lighter green color just to make sure I didn't make any mistakes. And then for areas where I wanted things to be a little darker or was a little bit more confusing, went over it with the red. But as you can see, we didn't have too many areas like that, so this is looking pretty good. That'll be what we're getting after today. So gonna start chipping away, see where we get to. All right, we're about 3 hours in. As you can see, we've got this first section done here. I'm just breaking it into parts, doing this second part right here, just going through and doing the hard outlines, adding in like some of the thinner outlines, and then next I'll be going in, putting in my blacks, and then doing some of that softer shading throughout. So yeah, one done. We'll get this one done, and then we'll move on to the knee. All right, as you can see, we've been getting a lot of work in on the kneecap here, which is a pretty tender spot. Just threw some Bactine on there. Just gonna go through and finish up some shading in the kneecap here. A couple of these little spots, hit some little details, and we will call that a day. All right, well, that is a wrap for today. We got a good chunk done, especially on the kneecap. I'm pretty happy with how much we did get done. I want to see how that heals. The knee is usually a pretty rough spot, especially for healing. So thankfully we got 2 or 3 or 4 more sessions to finish this thing up. I think we should be able to get it done in 3 more. But yeah, I didn't get to everything on the kneecap. You know, I left some small areas out, so gonna come back to that in some of our other sessions. I ended up taking some images of the side of his calf and then dropping it into my iPad, so then I can just go through and double check and make sure everything lines up, because as you may know, when you put the stencil on the skin, things turn and, you know, shapes are different, things don't quite line up as much. So being able to see an image of how it's actually looking on his body as is will be really helpful for next time, so I can design the next portion for our next session a little bit better so that it fits just right. And then I did the same for the other side of his calf. So yeah, I'll be able to drop all that in and design it, or just make little tweaks to what I have designed already so that it fits just right. Good first day. Session 1 complete. If you want to see this tattoo finished, or if you like this kind of tattoo content, skateboarding, snowboarding, stuff like that, please subscribe. I appreciate you, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.